We live in such a weird culture where like you put your entire life into athletics for so long, for some of these kids since they've been 5 years old. And then when this arbitrary date of graduating comes, we reverse everything we've been working towards and think of it as cringe to compete for something or to try for something athletically after college. And it's so dumb. It's like for the entire athlete's career growing up, you pretty much know they're not going pro, right? Like you know from the very start that the odds of you going pro and doing this for the rest of your life are very, very, very low. So why, when we hit the point where college is over for us or high school is over for us, do we decide, yep, it's over, my athletic career is over, it's not worth pursuing anymore because I didn't become a pro? When you kind of knew from the start you probably weren't going to become a pro if we're honest with ourselves. So like, why are we letting that arbitrary date decide for us when we are done athletically, when we are done competing for things, when we are done trying for things? I just really do believe that's something very important for athletes to have, and just humans in general, is a purpose to move your body, a reason to do these things. And as soon as you lose that, you lose like a little bit of sense of yourself. And why a lot of ex-athletes, they just completely stop the weight room, they completely stop moving, they put on 40 pounds as soon as they're done. Because when you don't have a purpose, it's such a different reason to move. There's no drive, there's no goal, and I do not understand why in our culture we decide that it should just end when college ends. Go find a side quest you think is cool to go do. Go train to accomplish that side quest. But I really think we have to stop with this like cultural approach to thinking it's cringe to try and to compete in something when you're post-college. And maybe your values change and the things in your life that you got to put time towards change because now it's time to get a job and now it's time to raise a family or start a family. But just because the percentage of time of your life that you spend on something changes doesn't mean it goes from 100% to zero. Maybe it's a 50-50, maybe it's even an 80-20. And for the people that are like, well, that's 20% of time I could be spending on my career. It's like, yeah, 20% of the time you're spending on keeping a physically fit body. It's the point of a good career if you feel like at 40. Do you really think being 60 pounds heavier than we were in college is the better solution? There's something psychologically in our human bodies that enjoys competing and enjoys progress and enjoys pursuing a physical task, not just a career task, not just any goal, but an actual physical goal. I think there's something separate in us that gets a lot out of pushing our bodies in that way after spending our entire lives pursuing something and like keeping that something in our life. And it's like, of course these athletes have identity crisis when their athletic careers is over because they've literally had that identity since they've been 5 years old. Now you're telling them 20 years later that thing is no longer important in their life and it should be 0% of their time. And there's just no truth to that. Just change the percentage of time that you spend on that thing, but keep that thing in your life, especially if you get a lot out of it.